tutorial. In this tutorial, we're just going to be doing something really smooth and easy. We're going to be setting up our Vue project on the front end. Okay, Vue is a JavaScript framework. Vue.js is a JavaScript framework, and the latest version is the Vue 3. Just like we have the React.js and all, it can actually handle a lot of things on the front end, just like reactive UI interfaces and all. In this, we are just going to be setting up something simple and something fast. We'll start by installing Vue using Vite, okay? Installing Vue using Vite. We'll also be adding Tailwind CSS to the project. We'll also be adding the router capability to the project, okay? So the first step we want to do right now is we want to install, this is just a fresh folder, there's nothing on this, we just want to install the Vue setup or package, okay? So we can do that by typing in npm, I just put that in here, npm create Vite latest dot means I am installing whatever setup files in the current folder. I'm not creating another new folder, so I don't need to do cd or change directory to actually continue installing let's say npm packages, okay? I'm specifying that it is Vue template I want to use. So I'm just going to hit enter, you give it a little bit of time as we wait. Okay, it's trying to say okay to proceed, why yes. Okay, it's telling me the package name. I can just hit enter, and there we have it. As you can see, just as you can see, my little 500 which the conductor gave me in the same style, project files have been created. So what we need to do right now is install npm or load packages. Just do npm install, give it a while. As we wait patiently. So npm has been installed. The next thing we want to do right now is we want to run this setup, our simple setup. We'll do that by saying npm run dev. Okay, so if we go into this URL just created, so you can see that from here, we have Vite plus Vue. We are moving forward. Okay, so let's just go back into our project right now. Okay, back into our command line. We'll be opening up a new command line. We can do that by simply hitting Control, Shift, and backtick. All right. So we're going to be moving on right now, and the next thing we want to do right now is actually install Tailwind CSS, and we can do that by typing in this simple code which we're going to be putting here. Let's expand this out. So we're going to be doing npm install -d tailwind Vite. It's going to take a while. We'll patiently wait. Now we're going to go into our config file, and we can see that here. The Vite config, okay? We need to actually tell our project to use Tailwind CSS, okay? And we can just do that by adding this line. And also importing our Tailwind from here. Let's see if we can observe the changes so far. We don't have a lot of changes yet. Remember, our project is automatically compiling. Okay, so we've done that. The next step we want to do right now is we want to import the Tailwind CSS package as a reference, and we can do that by looking at our src file, we're going to see the styles.css. What we want to do right now is we'll clear out everything here, okay, and we're just going to import Tailwind like so. At this point, something should break, okay? So the former CSS packages or settings have disappeared. Moving on right now, the next thing I want to do is we want to actually install our router for the Vue project. Currently, we do not have any route folder or route file within our setup. So we're just going to be coming here and doing npm install Vue router at 4, which is the version. That's the latest version at the point of this video. So if you notice now, we have install this package. In the package of JSON, we're going to find that we have Vue routes there. All right. So how do we go about creating our pages? How do we go about creating our pages? First off, we need to create a folder in the src file, and we're going to call that folder router. Inside of that router, we're going to create an index.js file, which will be like our control point for all our routes. This is similar to the web.php we have in Laravel, or the API.php we have also in Laravel, where you define your routes, define the controllers where they should go, and the methods or actions that they should do. This is also like a manifest or reference point for our Vue project. Every route is going to be represented here. A lot can happen here. We can link each route to the specific component or page we want to display, okay, and also do a little bit of settings here. So the first thing we are going to do is actually create the folder in the src folder. So we're going to do mkdir make directory. Where do you want to make this directory? src. What do you want to make? Router. Okay. I didn't get that command correctly. Just a minute. Okay, that should be mkdir make directory src router. Okay, let's clear this out. So as we can see, we have the router folder, but it is empty. So let's create a file inside of it, and we can do that by saying touch src router / index.js. Okay, and we're gonna have a file here, but this file is empty. What do? We need to actually create the setup for it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to import the Vue router. So let's just hide this, import the Vue router like so. The next thing we want to do is we want to actually declare the components and actually name them so we know where they are coming from. Just as I described them, my 500 is coming from the conductor this morning. But before we do that, let's do something real quick. We have to have a folder where we keep all the views. For this example, we are just going to create one view called the about view. So also inside the src folder, we can create a folder called views. So we can do mkdir src, and we're going to do views, or just say pages. So that's going to create okay, let's just do views first before we do pages. Okay, then inside of pages we're going to do touch src views pages, and we're going to say about view.view. Okay, now we have that point. So we can come back into our route and actually reference that page. And how we can do that, we can say import, okay, about view from, okay, now I'm just going to say /views/pages/about views. All right, so that's, let's do that correctly. About view. Okay, so we have just defined that particular route. We are going to come in here and also say const route is going to equal to a square bracket, which we should close. Okay, and here we're going to define in curly braces that particular route starts from path, and we're going to say about, which is correct, about, and the component is going to be the about view, like this. Okay, so I did have a little bit of error there because of my semicolon here, and const was not spelled correctly, and that's that. Okay, so I also need to add this part into the code to be able to export the router into my project generally. Okay, so now we have a route called the about view. I'm just going to head into the about view to pages, and we should have this. I'm just going to say, I just leave this example. Wrap everything we give. I already have some suggestion of some demo text, so I just want to use that, but they should be wrapped in one single div. Let's try and see where that issue is coming from. Okay, this is just a duplicate, sorry. Take this out. Let's take this out also. Let's just format this. Okay, I actually have a missing end tag here. That's why I had that error. Okay, so this is pretty simple. My file has been able to compile. I'm just going to head back into my project, and now I should be able to do about. Okay, so right about now I need to go into my app view. I have a lot of setup here. Okay, and this is just a default setup. I can take away the style. I can come over to also the script. I don't need the script. I need my template. This is where I will actually be showing the contents of the page. Okay, I'll be showing the contents of the page here. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to create a div. I'm going to give it an ID of app. Then here I'll be pasting in router view. Okay, so let's go back into our page, hit about, come back, okay, come back into our page. Let's try and stop this compilation, start it again. Okay, let's go to the home page. Nothing happens. Let's come to our main JS file. I think we need to do some touch up here to make it work. Okay, we haven't imported our route file here. Our route file needs to be imported here. So we're just going to do that, and we need to start up the project with the route file. Okay, then we need to set up our, after mounting our routes, we need to set it up to use the router. Okay, and we could check this out by going to our about page. As you can see, it now shows. Thank you very much. Follow us for more.